how I feel about my guests, like how if I want to do it or not. But it's got me this far.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a lot when it comes to this equipment, like making sure the internet's good, because this is a live show.
Right.
Like if you want to do like no live show, it's way easier. But
you can cut it.
Well, I mean, I still don't even do them. I hit in and out on the Premiere. It's in and out, and I just send it, and then I wait for the feedback. Is it good feedback? Now, for me, it's if we have like a serious bourbon night, you get your feelings on them nights.
Yeah.
About 30 minutes in, 45 minutes in, you're like just feeling
liquor.
it. Oh yeah. I mean, you only had a couple times where you had some buddies like talk about like some personal stuff, like with the wife, and you're like, okay, hit end, and be like, let's sit and talk. How you doing?
How you really feeling?
Yeah, you all right, bud? So I'll delete it. You don't even see it. But this is where it's going. I mean, we're all about the same age.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you watch regular cable? I mean,
we stream everything. I mean, that's
yeah. So like we get a really good clip about you talking about the organization. That thing can move mountains.
Right.
And you can be yourself.
Right.
I mean, so how'd y'all meet each other?
We actually grew up together. Played ball together since first grade, second grade.
First grade, second grade, and played football together, baseball, and then of course when it comes time to the high school side of it, I like going to school with girls. He liked going to school with boys.
I went to Stanislaus.
he went to Stanislaus.
Benji Davis grounds right there. It's Benji Davis.
We were just talking about him this weekend.
Yeah, it's Benji Davis pal right there.
No, man, we grew up together, and so JC, we both were fortunate. He had a great career. Went played football at Mississippi State, and for me, I went and played baseball at the University of West Florida at Pensacola.
So it's always sports for y'all.
Yeah,
everything's sports. Do y'all have like a Toyota pickup truck and do you have like a 12-pack in the back, and y'all sit around and talk about stories in your driveway?
We definitely do that every time. Everybody.
All right, about to hit an ad, guys. Hey, check out these ads. We got some Carter's Champion stuff coming up. I got to figure it out first. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Boobies and Blues, September 28th. Ground Zero Biloxi. Get tickets at groundzerobiloxi.com or carterschampions.com. You don't want to miss this event. 2024 Pink Dress Run, October 19th. Sign up at pinkdressrun.com or carterschampions.com. All money raised from our events go to Memorial Hospital Foundation. We've raised over $400,000 to help fight breast cancer right here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Come out and have a good time. If you don't want to make it out, donate. There's a link on our website. Go to carterschampions.com or pinkdressrun.com. Can't wait to see you there.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, lips, and life insurance.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots Insurance.
Yeah.
No, I don't really know much about. I know that y'all are going to be partnering with us about the gate.
Yeah. So biggest thing was we started hosting baseball tournaments together and sports tournaments the last 3 years. And I told Trevor one of the things that I wanted to do was I don't want to have a tournament every weekend. I'm not big on that. One, I have about to be 15-year-old daughter, 11-year-old son that plays travel sports. My daughter plays high school sports. I have about to be 7-year-old next week that's playing travel sports, and then a 3-year-old daughter. So like I don't want to be every weekend hosting a tournament. But the other thing was I wanted to make sure that we had an event. It wasn't just like hosting a weekend tournament. It's going to be the same thing every week.
You're probably right about doing that, because if you go every week with such a big tournament, you're going to burn yourself out.
That and it dilutes. It never stays.
How many teams are we talking?
So for the one that we're partnering with you guys with Carter Shipping, there's 92 teams.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's 92 people. That's 92 personalities.
Oh yeah. No. You're talking about 92 times 12 kids, 11 to 12 kids.
Okay, yeah.
And then 2.5 parents and grandparents.
Oh yeah.
With
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about 3,000 people all over.
It's and we have teams literally from Louisiana to Florida that'll be there this weekend. And that was a big thing for us. And when we talk about event wise, so like in our events, we typically have food trucks, which range from street tacos, authentic Mexican, soul food, coffee trucks.
So it's not just like old school
it's not
concession.
just
I'm not saying anything about it, but I tell you what, give me some Tonys on some crickle fries. You know?
you can't really beat that.
and the beauty, honestly, is our concession stands still do well. That's we wanted that element that people could truly not just feel like a transaction. And a lot of times what has kind of gone on over the years was, people, it's in and out, hey, give me your money. And we didn't want that aspect at all. That's not what we stand for. It's not what we're about. We wanted people to feel like they had an experience.
So y'all doing more like a fun day.
Yeah.
You're adding fun day to the tournaments.
We want to make sure that the most important people that are there are the kids.
Yeah. Hey, girls, that's some alkaline. I have an alkaline machine. That's alkaline water. Them cups are clean. So if y'all need some water, help yourself. Y'all can walk. You can walk across. Same thing, guys. You got to use the restroom. You can walk out too.
No, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people don't see with travel sports and stuff is that it's about the kids. It's gotten so big monetarily, and so where Carter's Champions comes in with Showtime Sports was we wanted to make sure that every event that we got connected with, we had some type of nonprofit connected to where we could donate some gate back, but we wanted to localize it. We didn't want something, and that's how the conversation started between me and John about how much money really goes to.
Yeah, we give 100%.
Yeah.
It's fun to do that because I get to meet these people. I met a lady that we pay for her teeth. I'm like, hey, this is sick. Like, but there's a lot of it took me and John, like when we started Carter's Champions, we didn't know. It's like you didn't know. We're just like, hey, our first year we had like our pink dress run. I think we had like 10 to 15 runners.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, now we're developing in this. Yeah. The other day I got like 15,000 in sponsorships.
Wow. Like
Thursday. But like in 2016, there's no way I could have done that.
Right.
Not on the level that I'm doing it. I just call now. I'm like I can call Keesler Federal, and they're like, oh, grandfathered in. Jordan, just come grab the check. Yeah. Or now they just send it because we just write it to Memorial.
Right. Because
it's better for us to go direct to Memorial, and I just get like Amy's the president and Catherine Moran. She runs it too. There's two girls that really run it, but they get they just email me with an updated list. Like, this is where y'all are at. This is how much money was sent in. These are the people if I don't know the sponsors that sent the money in, I'll be like, Catherine, who sent the money? And she's like, Keesler gave you 5, or Mitchell gave you 10. Jersey Mike's gave us 22,000 this year.
Awesome.
Captain Alice gave us 22,000 too. So I mean, like that's kind of because I don't really want to mess with it. I'd rather just shake hands and try to get as much money as I can.
But you're making a difference because 100% of it goes towards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like how y'all thought about that too, because I'm not in it for profit.
Right.
I'm not. I sell insurance. I'd rather sell insurance, and I was, because there's a lot of people that need help. Yeah. And what Memorial Foundation does is it goes to people that are less fortunate. Right. And we are going to be moving into doing all cancers. Right now we've been doing breast cancer, but the Cancer Foundation does kids too, everybody.
Right.
So we're going to be moving into everybody because the Memorial Hospital Foundation said we raised so much money for them that they're thinking about naming it after us.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I mean, and I tell Jonathan Thomas, like, there's a team behind it. I mean, there's so many friends involved, but like most of these, and I'm not going to say anything bad about a lot of nonprofits, but most of them are at a 30%, when there's a CEO that makes $3 million. Yeah. So if you're out there doing a baseball tournament and you're working all day and you give them, a $50,000 check, probably 20,000 is going to go, or 15,000 is going to go to actually cause, because you got to pay administration fees. With Memorial Hospital Foundation, the hospital pays the girls their salary.
Right.
And then every $20 bill we track. So there's nobody's taken from it.
Yeah. So when John and I went to lunch, that was the coolest thing I thought, because my daughter's nonprofit, when we first started, it was literally her wanting to bead bracelets. She's like a little entrepreneur, so she wanted to make money. And
We're talking like a Swifty bracelet?
like just
Yeah.
easy
Okay,
little
okay.
beaded bracelet, you know. And I told her, I was like, look, you get everything you want for Christmas. What do you want to do? Why don't we just make some money, and whatever you raise, I'll match it and we'll donate. We'll find something to donate. And this was when like YouTube was really kicking off for kids. My daughter was like 7, and a little video popped up of Toys for Tots. And so I had to have the hard conversation of why Santa Claus doesn't come to some kids' houses. And so I told Millie, I was like, why don't we put it together? All the money you raise, I'll match, and we'll donate it to Toys for Tots. So of course I got good friends like you. So we did a little Facebook video, and I said that I would match dollar for dollar of what she would raise. So all my friends started sharing it. So that way, they wanted to see how much money I would donate back and match it. So in her first year, she raised like $1,700.
So you
I
got to
was like,
match that.
yeah. So
That's
so it was-
$1,700 right
so
there.
It was like, okay, so first year she did 1,700, and we went and we get connected with the Harrison County Toys for Tots, and we went, and basically they gave us a list of what they needed, and they have kids, you know, they'll break it down 6 to 9 year old, 10 to 12 year old, boys, girls, and so we get to go and do all the shopping. So then the second year, my daughter was like, "Are we going to do it again?" Well, she had to bead like 150 bracelets. It was like child labor. So I was like, why don't we come up? So I went and researched the rubber bracelets, and my donation for the second year was all the rubber bracelets. So we started selling the rubber bracelets for $3 a piece. So it's called Millie's Movement, Saving Christmas One Band at a Time. And in the second year, we did 7,800. And then third year, we did 10,000. Fourth year, was COVID year, and we did 19,800. So right under 20,000. And then last year we did 20 grand.
Yeah, I'm just going to continue to grow. It's a niche.
Yeah. And it's cool because she gets to take, her birthday's December 1st. So she takes all her friends, and we go shopping, and we buy all the toys. So 100% of the money.
Now, do you partner with like Target?
So Target did something for us for the past 3 years. They give us a $500 gift card for it. Walmart locally, they'll give us tax break on bicycles. And we will partner with Toys for Tots first. They give us a load of kids, basically a list of what we need. And then because we had gotten so big so quick, we started off with just coastal counties. Then we started doing other counties up, and now we'll find locals. The hardest part was, like you said, you know, you got to buy somebody, you know, their teeth, whatever. We never saw anything. Well, then once we started doing local charities or local churches and stuff, we started getting videos of kids waking up and having a Christmas. You talk about impactful, like, because you work hard, right? You raise, you do what you need, you pay for your kids, and you get stuff, and you see what they have for Christmas. But when you know other people don't have things, and I know that my little girl is the reason of that, it makes it even better.
Well, I think that's an important situation. That's the reason we do Carter's Champions. My mom had cancer. I was 12, and I just like it. Like, I mean, I'm from Latimer. I feel like I had a pretty good childhood, but when I got into, I don't know, becoming an adult, I'm like, when you start meeting people, there's a lot of fake people in this world. And I was just like, you know, me and John instantly connect, because like marketing's what I'm good at. Like, I've worked for Ray Brandt, did all their car commercials. I've done Chandelier beer commercials. I've done a lot of billboards. You've seen some of my brochures. I just don't put my name on anything.
Yeah.
So you just see my work. You'll see my style. Like I have a hat company called Crawford Beer. You can get them at Charisma. It's just, I make logos and design. And I knew that, like, when me and John were talking about doing it, was just like, how could we, you know, it didn't happen overnight, but it was like, why are we doing this?
Right.
It was never like, look at us, you know, maybe our first year, we're probably like a little more selfless. You know, we're a little more selfish, like, because we're just like, oh, this is us trying to figure it out. Who's the leader?
Right.
And then as you get older, you're like, shit, like, I got a 6-year-old that back talks me. But I have Emily. I mean, we have everybody involved now. There's a team of us. There's a team of us that do it. And it's one of the things, like you said, it's just one of the feelings where you're like, you know, last year we cut the check to Memorial for $133,000. Wow. And that's huge, because like when we first started, I think we were 11. First, yeah, it was like 11 grand to be $133,000.
Yeah.
Bro, I paid $150 for this house. like it's just weird, but when you talk to like Amy, you know, Amy is, you got to trust the people that you give the money to. Amy lives right here on the island by me. her husband Ronnie, he works for Warren Pavin. I think Amy's 39, maybe. I might be 39, but like she just got done battling cancer.
Wow.
So this leader of Memorial come to find that like she did this with us and she got diagnosed. Well, then she started like she went from the person help us put on the event to being the person on the stage talking about her experience. And that's something we offer too at Carter Champions. It was the concept of when you go to our event, our run starts like 11. Our main event, it's 11. But for the first like 45 minutes, we let the survivors that want to talk get on stage and tell their stories. And it will ruin you because you're like, I just found out last week. And it's like, what? And, but they get to talk to the other survivors. And the whole goal behind us was, most survivors are insecure. And you go to a lot of these places, they don't have like lawn chairs. So we always say, bring a lawn chair, get to know the survivors. But we also do the national anthem too. So you can't do a run without doing the national anthem.
Right.
But it's cool to see, like you see these survivors that never met each other and they'll sit by each other. And all of a sudden electric slide comes on. All right. And they're just dancing with each other. And there's a lady that's got no hair here. There's a lady that's got her hair here. They all can sit around and be like, I mean, we have two females right here. Have y'all battled? Anybody battled? It's one of the things that would just, because nobody. So one thing about Memorial we did is we got a capsulation machine now that you'll never lose your hair if you get sick. So you will now, when you go through chemo, they normally put like dry ice on your head, 80 pounds, 60 pounds to try to keep your hair. Now there's a capsulation machine that you put on the cap and it'll save your hair.
Wow.
That's the number one thing when people have cancer. It's driven towards, am I going to lose my hair?
Right.
How am I going to look? And
it's already bad enough what you have to deal with and the exterior of what the world makes you feel like.
Plus, we love females. Okay. I love females. And to be a part of that journey. Also too, I just want to let y'all know about how Carter Champions is. I was talking to Cam Roberts here in Chandelier Brewing, and his daughter Sydney's 15, so she went 10th, 11th grade at St. Pat's. But I'm like, I can't wait for you to take over. Like y'all, our kids are taking this over. We're not going to do this forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all better get ready and prepped. I want to be the guy that just pulls up and involve, maybe small volunteer, but I think like I want Oliver when Oliver turns 21, he will be a part of this.
Yeah.
All of our kids, everybody that's on there, we're going to force them all in there because we can actually give. So that's another thing too, is we can actually give community hours.
Right.
So if we do have some of the baseball people, like we can sign off on their hours.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's what we need to get more kids involved in community service. That's a big thing. I think when I went to Stanislaus, we had to do hours every year. Like you had to do a certain amount of hours. And I don't know if that's still a thing, but you don't see that a lot.
Is there now? Do y'all affect the local league, which y'all's Grand Slam? I mean, how does that impact like the local circuit?
Typically in we tell people all the time. So there's two sides to it, right? Ultimately, most kids are going to start in rec programs. What you see is it's about the fit as far as the team you're on, the organization you choose, as far as the development side. You have a lot of kids who still play both rec ball and play travel ball on the weekends because sometimes they're not necessarily getting the reps during the week, to get better. And both, with Jesse and I, the big thing we stress, look, he was they ran a rec baseball league until this year. Like, same thing with me. And
you didn't embezzle, did you?
No.
Okay.
We literally help, because there's a place for recreation ball.
Yeah.
Not everybody can afford the travel ball lifestyle. And I'll be honest with you, for us, our big thing was to make travel baseball not as expensive because of the fact of, look, I was that kid who, my dad was a firefighter and my mom was an office secretary for a long time, so JC grew up, both his parents.
And my dad was a contractor and painter and my mom was disabled. So didn't come from a lot of money.
Yeah. Like for us, it was, we wanted, it's about the kids and the money. There's got to be that harmony between the both.
But like recreation is the problem today is the involvement of parents. Like there's not a lot of involvement.
No, it's all around. They're not even sports.
It's and it's sad, man. It's
a lot of Facebook parents out there.
Look, we see it
They're
a lot.
real.
It's social media shows it, pictures about being at games and all that kind of stuff, but like not having an involvement for practices or getting kids to practice or being more involved. Like it's hard, man. Like I was president for the last 6 years, part of the board for 8 years, but it'll wear you down because of like dealing with certain types of people and parents and complainers and all that kind of stuff, and it's like you can never be right, or you can never fix it, or you can never do the right thing for everybody. But in the end, I don't care about parents. I care about kids. I want the kids to have the best time. I remember growing up, like when Trevor and I were coming up, we were part of leagues. Our parents ran the leagues. We got bags for going to All-Stars or helmets or stuff that like you remember coming back the next year to try out, and you could tell like who was the ones that, were on the All-Star team or who made this team or whatever. But because of, I'm going to basically take my ball and run generation now coming through, travel ball is not really killing recreation. It's parents who don't get their way that's killed recreation. So you get to where these parents are basically taking their kids, and they'll take a group of kids and they'll go start a team. So there's 4 levels to travel ball. You got single A, double A, triple A, and then you have major. So
what about Babe Ruth? Is that still a thing?
Yeah. It's so now you have your organizations, which I'll give you a perfect example. So like Babe Ruth and Cal Ripken, depending on how big your league is, you got to pay like a chunk of money for insurance and to be a part of this organization. Well, the only thing that these organizations like Babe Ruth and Cal Ripken really service for Rex are postseason. It's all-star play. Well, here's your deal. The season gets over, and you got 4 to 6 weeks every weekend back to back to back in the summer. There's not a lot of parents that want to go back to back to back every weekend, every summer. So a lot of leagues are dying out on the whole all-star run. And so these leagues are paying money for postseason play, but kids aren't playing in postseason. So your Rec's getting affected financially because they're putting money into something.
What's it cost to do a travel team versus a rec team?
So rec is usually like anywhere between $65 to $100 a kid, depending on.
And it barely pays for the uniform, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like nowadays, cost of uniform, belt, socks, pants, jersey, all that stuff is like if you're doing like a dry fit and a screen print, you're going to be closer to like 55, and then if you're getting actual nice sublimated uniform stuff like that, you're anywhere between 185 to 275 bucks for a full set. So like travel and everything, like my son, we were in South Haven this weekend.
I've seen that.
Playing ball up there, right?
So were you eating out of Outback or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look like an Outback to me. I like Outback.
Texas Road. We were at Texas Roadhouse. Yeah.
I love Outback.
It was good.
Anytime my son can get that cinnamon butter from Texas Roadhouse, he's all about it. But like you just think $400 in hotel, your travel going up there, gas, fuel, all that kind of stuff. Then actually the tournament costs, eating at the tournaments, all that kind of stuff. I mean, travel all gets ridiculously expensive. I mean, crazy.
Yeah, I mean that was always. I have a few friends, like I said, James Bennett. He was, I think, Gulf Coast Hurricanes.
Yeah,
his kids did that for a long time. They'd always go to like. It's when you have to go to like Florida.
Yeah,
that stuff start costing money. Okay,
yeah.
Hotel rooms $150, $200. I mean, eating out. Eating out. It's $700 a weekend.
We were in Houston last year, Nashville. I mean, Atlanta twice. World Series is like 7 days.
Like, how do you raise money for that? I mean, do you have like a side gig, or you?
I mean, luckily enough, I've been blessed financially in my career, but it's crazy.
What is your career?
So I started off. I had a short stint. I played college football at Mississippi State. Then I thought I was going to have a 17-year career in the NFL and make all kinds of millions. And then I came out when the NFL went on strike, so I got fired with everybody else, and then moved home, kept training, and then I got into the insurance world. Dabbled in that for 14 years or 13 years.
Like with Sean Merrill?
Yeah.
Sean's my cousin.
Okay. Yeah. I worked with Sean for 12 years and then opened up my own office for a year and a half. And then I got into the consulting world. And so started doing everything from sales, marketing, leadership consulting, basically helping businesses structure themselves.
So like a Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good money. I'm doing the local insurance. So you
like PNC and
Yeah, I mean, I got health and life.
Yeah.
I mean, but the PNC, like I said, I got to do a coffee shop tomorrow. I don't know. I like, this. My dad's on dialysis right now, and it's just starting. It's been pretty bad on me, but I'm like, I'm at a point now where I just want to be relaxed.
Yeah,
that's why I do marketing. I got a couple bids out. I've done stuff in Oxford, and I got a bid for Hattiesburg. So I still do some marketing, but it's all mainly, for the insurance side. I just like the insurance world because I don't have to. When you do marketing, you have to really. And when I say do marketing, I'm talking about making graphics and making a campaign. It's a lot.
Yeah,
and you got to nail it. And I just got burnt out. I mean, I do clients like Butler Homes.
Right.
So I do a few clients, but I like insurance. I've been doing it 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I absolutely adore it. Like, it's one of the things like, oh wait, I got Progressive. What do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, new quote.
Did we sign your boat?
Yeah, I got into, life insurance is like that 9-letter cuss word that everybody gets it, but they don't want to talk about it because nobody wants to talk about it.
I got life.
Yeah. Well, my dad passed away when I was 20 years old. We lost everything in 6 months. Repossessed cars, repossessed house. Like, my mom turned to drugs, alcohol. I mean, it got bad, and then she ended up passing away when I was 25. So no life insurance, no money saved, no retirement, no educational money. So when I met Sean, he asked me all these questions. Have you ever had somebody that, passed away and it was, detrimental to their life? I'm like, yeah, me.
I still got one of his policies. I think he signed me up 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He signed me up 10 years ago. Me and him were at the shed.
Yeah.
Like, so his uncle that passed away, Mike Gilmore.
Right.
My brother's Michael and Beth.
Okay.
So his first cousins,
yeah,
they're my half siblings.
Okay.
So I was,
who's talking like Coach Gilmore from the Bay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sarah and him.
So Beth and Michael are my brother and sister.
Oh, okay.
I don't claim Sarah and Chris. I'm being honest with you. I claim.
Yeah.
But no, Sean's he's super smart at it, and I liked insurance. I'm never leaving it.
It's very lucrative, but what's awesome about it is if you're really into the service side and teaching people and educating people, you can really, really make a difference.
No, I got an office right here about across from Rouse's. I'm just going to dump my money into Carter's Champions. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Like, literally, my son goes to Bobby. I'm just going to like make money with insurance, dump it into my nonprofit, circle around, dump it back in there.
Yeah.
I already have everything I want. Materialized. I don't really, maybe a small camper, but I have everything I want.
Yeah.
I have like my dream truck, Ford Lightning. I have a Ford Lightning.
Yeah.
I have
like the step side.
Yeah, old school. Yeah, I have a Ford Lightning. I have the vehicles I want. I have the gun collections I want. But for me now, it's like I really just want to just kind of get your blood pressure down, enjoy life.
Yeah.
Not ever think, not ever stress.
Yeah.
Doing Cars Champions, they're doing any kind of event. It's a lot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can act like it's easy. It's not. It is. You're taken away from family time. You miss out on even the boring TV shows. Like, you just miss out on a lot because you're at the ball fields or you're doing this, and you're not. So just for me, it's just you got to kind of figure out. You can't just I have to balance myself now, especially getting in my late 30s, and I just don't want to be like half the people I know that have like that big boat ride by themselves. They seem pretty miserable. I have a couple that are good at it. Like, I even get on his big boat and he'll just But Smiley, he works hard, dude. He's up at 4 a.m. I mean, he's emailing me at 4 a.m. Like, he goes to bed at like 8, ends up at 4. I've been working on that too.
But I love following guys like that because you can see his business surrounds his family.
What's your name of your company?
Me?
Yeah.
So I've got Brignone Consulting, and then
how do you say your name?
Brignone.
Okay, I was so lost.
Yeah.
I said Brignone.
So I've got my full name is Julio Cesar Brignone.
Okay, what?
But it's JC. But yeah, my dad was he was Julio. But
can I call you Julio?
Yeah,
I like that.
All my close friends call me Julio.
But I don't feel safe about being like a consultant with the name Julio.
That's why I kind of stick with the JC aspect.
Yeah, Julio just sold me that. What?
So I'm actually in the process of kind of building a brand, putting it together. Trevor and I had talked for a long time. The biggest thing was we always said that with our organization, we wanted to set the standard. We wanted to be the standard of everything. So for the last really year, I've been putting together a brand called The Standard, and I'm building a lot of different organizations through it. One of them is the Sheepdog Group, which is basically bringing back the alpha mindset for men. Coming back and being a father, being a leader in a community. It's a lacking thing that we have today. And I feel like, John and I were talking about it at lunch. It's like, man, we need more fathers involved, more dads involved, of being that guy, that being their hero. Like I want my kid to want to wear my jersey. I've got a picture of my kids that they've got my NFL jerseys on and my college jerseys. Like when they go to school and they have jersey day, they wear my jerseys. That's what I always wanted. I wanted my kids, because my dad, he was my hero. Like the dude came to the United States, didn't speak a word of English, built an entire business.
Was he little?
He's like 5'10", about 180
Okay.
pounds. Now my grandfather was 6'6", 400, so that's where I get my size from. But my dad was a man amongst men. Like he was that guy.
What would he listen to? Do you wear a gold chain?
All
had
day. Gold chain, pinky.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Bald head.
JCB, pinky ring. Like he was that. He was that
that's
guy.
a Julio, right?
My dad.
Julio's who you think got a
My-
little
my
got a little
dad
hair
was
on the
an
meat
OG.
right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. 100%, man. Had the 3 buttons down.
I think it's I moved out when I was 16. I started Janny King when I was 19. Still own it to this day too.
Wow.
But I'm about my buddy Mike is gonna be getting it, but like 18 years in that business. And then I owned a mattress store for almost a decade in Gaucher on Highway 90.
Okay.
Lost it during the pandemic. So I'm a little entrepreneur. Again, my dream was to be a video like a gamer, and but I just always
So you're a COD guy?
huh?
You're a COD guy?
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I used to be. I'm old now.
Yeah.
Like, I know that. Like I hadn't turned this Xbox on in probably a month, and I have friends call me like, "Get on," and I'm like, "No," because like Brandon Davis,
Yeah.
he's big. He plays every night, and I'm like, "Nah, I don't know if I want to." I have do you have an adjustable bed, like an actual adjustable bed?
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like come up here when I got my adjustable bed. I crank it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and plus Emily goes to bed at like 8:39, and I don't know, by the time I get in that bed, and I just kind of do my own little space out a little bit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'll pass right out.
So I didn't start playing first person shooter until I got in the league, and I came into a room and they were playing LAN play,
Mhm.
and there was like 6 guys. But I was like a FIFA guy and Madden and NCAA and stuff. And I came home after I got released, and I was playing at the house one day, and I had a friend come by, and he was like, "Dude, you play Call of Duty?" And it was like all the guys from high school. They all played everything, and we got together. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I used to be a little so I was a pub stomper, so I just go in there and nuke them out.
Yeah.
Like I would make
Yeah.
you mad.
Yeah.
Like I mean, when I was streaming on Twitch, I streamed shirtless,
That's
and I would rub my nipples for likes. It's a true story. It was a true story. Like, and but I was when I learned video games, one thing I learned, I think what I learned is I don't get super frustrated.
Yeah.
So like, I'll just start over. It's a video game.
Yeah.
And I kind of take that into life too. Now I do have moments, but when it comes to gaming, it's just a video game.
Yeah.
It's just start over again. It's okay. But yeah, I've always, I think I worked for Group 1 for 2 months. I haven't ever really worked for anybody besides.
I suck at being an employee.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, at all.
I don't, because
Trevor's going through that world right now.
well, I just feel like if you don't, there is a 9 to 5. I know that's a Henry Ford thing, but I can do what in an hour what people can do in 4 hours, because if I got to do it, plus, do you like coffee?
I'm non-caffeine.
I'm massive coffee guy. Give me a big cup of coffee. I turn on some Ben Howard, and I go, because always got to be like lo-fi, like it's got to be like relax or the XX.
Yeah.
And I just when I can.
Roll.
Well, my mind though, like you see me set up here.
Yeah.
Watch John. John comes over here, and I'll be like making our graphics for Pink Dress Run, and John's just like the way I move.
Oh, he told me the graphic that before we went and had lunch. He was like, yeah, Jordan made this in like 5 minutes. Like we were sitting on the couch. And
Yeah, my brain just goes like it's like a. Well, plus I'm supposed to be on like I was on Adderall my whole life, and then I removed that for myself. So my brain's I let it go now.
Yeah.
But I'm fast. Like I made that because my buddy Ben was Big Worm one year, and that's gonna be our new flyer.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I just like Big Worm. Remember that Friday?
Friday.
Yeah. No, but I think that's something that's cool that you kind of figure out you can't work for somebody.
Yeah.
Do you have an office?
Yeah. So I've got an office in Basin Lewis right downtown on Main Street.
And it's all consulting. So if you're just trying to have a startup, you walk in, you talk to you.
So basically anything that you have from beginning to end, if you've got an idea, I can take you to exit. We want to be able to help people really become the standard in whatever niche area they're in.
Do you life coach too?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Robbie D'Angelo used to meal prep me.
Robbie B. Angelo used to meal prep me too.
Yeah, so I was one of his first clients.
Okay.
So we started out of his kitchen.
I used to go to his house.
Yeah, and
pick up.
So I'm the first one he did. I lost
Okay.
that weight.
Yeah.
It was Robbie, and then I helped him do the brand on it, and then he sold it to Chase, I think.
Yeah.
He sold it, and I don't know. Is he in Florida now?
I think so. Yeah.
So you do like.
So I played center too. So Robbie and I we do each other.
How'd that make you feel when the people like when you're playing center? I'd be uncomfortable.
What's that?
I just wouldn't want something like. I just.
It's it's funny is I had a conversation. I had a butt pad, so like I didn't even feel like you don't even really notice it.
Were you a long snapper?
I did in high school, and I did it in college, but I never actually did it in the game.
Where did you get to sign with a team?
Yeah, I played in Chicago for 6 weeks.
And you hit practice squad?
Yeah, and then got released when lockout and everything wouldn't happen, and then never got a call back. I got 2 calls, went and tried out with Baltimore, tried out with Atlanta, and then about 6 weeks into the season, started getting calls from like Arena League teams, and that's like $500 a week, and if you win, you get.
I love the
$50
Fire
win
Dogs,
bonus.
dude.
Yeah.
Fire Dogs are awesome.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to beat my head against somebody else for $500 a week.
I don't blame you.
know?
I was today. I was at the gym, and my buddy CJ Hawthorne, one of my neighbors.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I got JC coming on. I said, what year did you leave the Bills? Because he played for Hawaii. But my grandfather, my grandparents' neighborhood.
He does lawn care, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he's trying to slim down his yards. That's what he told me. He said, I'm trying to slim down. Jordan, while he's training, he was training somebody. He goes, I'm trying to slim down.
Yeah.
I said, you know what you need to do? Become a plumber.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been thinking like,
Just something else.
well, you need to get it. Like I've been having people like on my podcast, like trades.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the future.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like trades, like plumbing.
We do full paid vocational scholarships for any kind of like trade school, basically for kids, for high school kids. I had a brother get killed in a car wreck in 2008, and we ended up. That's what we started a nonprofit, and typically do 3 full paid scholarships for vocational education. And
I'm a firm believer in trades.
And it's huge.
Well, you get away with like the social media aspect of watching people and following people and seeing, the whole money roll in, all this stuff has gotten kids away from tough jobs. And I think there's trades guys I know that are rocking in high 6 figures.
Oh, I know too.
I
eat lunch on Fridays, Twin Peaks. Shout out.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. And I think it's crazy, but parents have pushed that away from their kids. You go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, and then kids are moving back in. Well, the problem is it stems back to the generation before, financially educated, is that people are working longer because they weren't prepared financially to be able to retire. So now you got kids that you forced and taught, hey, you got to go to school. And I'm not saying school's wrong, but you got these kids coming out and getting degrees, and then they're having to move back in with mom and dad because the people that told them to go get a degree are still working and not giving up the job that they're supposed to get.
Yeah, it's true though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if I would have known, I would have got insurance at like 20.
Oh.
I would have just did insurance, and I would have just did insurance.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh wait, when I found this out about 3 years ago, I was like, okay, this is where I want to be in life. You can really go get you go PNC, get your license, study, read a book, take the test. You can use AD Banker. It's like $200. Do online. I do like online. I don't like doing I'm not making fun of these old people, like these older guys in the insurance world, but like I'm not doing the old dudes classes.
Yeah.
They don't know how to work Skype.
Yeah.
And they just read the book to you.
Well, when the pandemic happened, like that opened the world up. Like I was only licensed in like 4 states, and then literally within 2 months I was licensed in 17
You're
states.
still licensed, ain't you?
Oh yeah.
You're still doing insurance.
Yeah, I keep all my license.
You're still doing life though.
Yeah.
Are you independent now?
Yeah.
Are you Prime America?
No. I left Primerica in October.
So you got your own book. And it's what company's that?
So I go through Simplicity.
You like it?
Oh, I love it.
So your bulk of business is life.
Majority investments. Like
Yeah.
I was more of an investment guy than I was a life insurance guy. Like life insurance is a part of the game. It's just one piece of the puzzle. I love numbers, math. That's why I got into the logistics aspect of consulting, because I just like numbers. I love the way money moves, how it works, how you can take it from A, B, and C. mean, life insurance is life insurance. Everybody needs it. I think that's a huge mistake that people say, oh, well, I'm not going to pay for something I don't need. Well, if you drive a car for 15 years and you never get in a car accident, are you going to be mad that you didn't have, or that you paid for car insurance? No, you just didn't get in an accident. Well, if I never have to get my life insurance out, that means I didn't die. I'm pretty okay with that. Like, I'd rather my kids not get my life insurance.
So bulk of your business is whole.
No.
You don't do whole?
No. I don't believe in that.
You don't do it?
No, I don't believe in it at all.
Huh. I got life insurance because I ride motorcycles. I'm pretty out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if I go out tomorrow, I feel like I lived.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, that's how I live. Like, I've wrecked my bike 115 allegedly, and then
allegedly.
And then, well, my stepdad's an attorney, so yeah, like if I get hit with this, I don't even say anything. He'll just email you.
That's awesome.
We're at Captain Al's, and I had somebody come up to me and they're like, "I got an idea for a podcast, but you gotta do it, sign an NDA." And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "They're filming me too." I'm like, "No, but you can talk to my attorney." And they're like, "What? You an attorney?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, how it works is anything I do now with like my stepdad, like I'm probably gonna be moving him into lobbying, but because my family's been having that business for a long time, so it's kind of a trade-off. My stepdad got his insurance license a month ago.
Okay.
So it's Oliver Scott Insurance. It's named after Oliver. So it's funny thing is my dad's Darren Scott, my son's Oliver Scott, I'm Jordan Scott, and he is Richard Scott, my stepdad.
Okay.
So we're all Scotts. So the whole family we're like Scott. So just, we're all going to separate. I'm probably going to move into health. I want to kind of be an Ivan Spinner.
Yeah, that's a different world there.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't feel like we need two people doing P&C all the time.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on each other's foot. I believe I'm a strong believer in like having a division.
There's so much business out there.
Oh no.
It's
podcast helps it.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine.
Oh, it does. And what, you thought about doing a podcast?
Yeah, 100%. This is actually my first podcast.
What's holding you back?
Just doing it.
You need to start because it takes. Well, it takes like I had an old podcast. I don't do it anymore, but I had a podcast that had 200 episodes. So I got about 250 episodes under my belt.
That's awesome.
But the only thing I could tell you is start now.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't even worry about like these mics. I would get like just cheap lav mics from Amazon for like $30-$40, and they'll last 7 hours for two lav mics.
Yeah.
And I would start a podcast that way. I would literally just start a podcast and I would just film off my phone.
Yeah.
I would never buy the stuff I bought. If I go back, I didn't know. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, so I just bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon.
Well, that's what you see. Like social media is so crazy. When I started doing some work out in Houston, and I always wondered like how people did some of their content. I'm like, how do you film yourself consistently like this, walking through? Like, I didn't realize that people paid people to follow them around and film them. And
I wouldn't. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. There's a lot of like this whole, social media world, but there's also people who buy followers and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I know. I check some of our friends' accounts.
Yeah.
I go down, exactly what I'm talking about. I check a few of their, like,
you can see content like when.
No, I see some of their views though, and I see their file,
and how people react to it.
And I click on it, and I'll see is everybody from a different country, and I'm like, come on, dude, don't do that. I
got the pleasure to meet Jeff Hoffman. That is guy who designed Priceline.com. I met him in Houston, and his nonprofit is Pay It Forward. They've done like 8.7 billion in the last 7 years. Incredible human being. And he's the guy who designed, when you go into the airport, he designed the kiosk.
Okay.
And sold it to American Airlines and Delta for like $117 million in 91. But he only has like 8,000 followers on Instagram. And so I'm like, Jeff, like, what's the deal with your social media? And his thing says speaker Jeff Hoffman. He goes all over the world speaking. And I said, why do you only have like 8,000 followers? And he said, my focus is building leaders, not followers. And that was so impactful. I'm like, dang. And you start to see, it's like most people who really have impacts don't care about that.
Me, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
You check out, it tells me all the time, is like, well, if you did this and this and you can have this many more, I'm like, I don't really need it. If I change one person's life on this show, I'll walk away happy.
That's it.
And I feel like that's, but also I'm more of a Dale Carnegie guy. Massive, I've done Atomic Habits. I do it all.
Yeah.
I started doing books in about 2014.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of, but Dale Carnegie always hits. Don't stop where you start living. I've done Mate by Tucker Max. I mean, there's a list of.
Do you listen or read or both?
No, I listen. I ain't sitting there and reading.
Yeah.
I mean, I might read no, I like it. I like because I turn my speed up.
Yeah.
I mean, Emily reads Harry Potter, but come on, dude. She reads one page and she's snoring. You know,
Yeah. That's I can't read.
because if I read, I'm out.
Yeah.
But I have to do audible.
Yes.
And well, I mean, like I said, like somebody was telling me, like they're asking me, like, well, when we restarted our shows, like, well, I can help you get more followers. I'm like, I don't really want them. I don't want kids watching this show.
Yeah.
This ain't for kids, but I have the right listeners for the show. I mean, some of the most powerful people on the coast are tuning in right now. That's how they're like, because it's kind of like I knew something was up. Randy Wrigley. He's a big developer in Ocean Springs. Been there forever. He's got that Outer Bank style house right there on Lovers Lane by Bacchus with the big white house with the big American flag. And I remember us being at the Jackson Pearl for Ricky Audemond's campaigns. I'm big into political campaign stuff. But I remember him going up to me going, hey, son, well, number one, when I was growing up with Jacqueline and Nikki, his daughters, I've been drunk, passed out in his yard a few times. All right, so he knows me. You know what I mean? They're from Harris Central, but they live in Ocean Springs. Yeah. And he goes, I don't watch news anymore, son. I watch you.
That's
awesome. I think he's probably 70. And I'm like, oh, what? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I tune into you. I'm like, all right, I bet. Like,
yeah.
I think if I just like, honestly, like I always have this mindset with the podcast. It's, if this is my last episode, I'm okay. But the problem with people is, especially you're trying to figure out how to do it. Like, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. Like, you just can't. It's one of the things, like, you got to do it every week. Set one day a week, start a small podcast, and then you're going to slowly develop. But I think the scariest thing for people with podcasts is being comfortable.
Right.
And then, number one, I hate the way I sound. I edit my clips, but I can't go back and listen to myself. I hate the way I sound.
I do videos on Facebook and people will send me, they're like, man, I love your content, man. How often, and I can't tell you how many times I've sat in my truck and redone a video 37 times and I'll be 6 minutes into it doing something and see it. I'm like, mess up, or I'll stutter, or I hear myself.
That's me and you. Me and you in the same head.
Oh, I can't.
We're in a headspace like never before.
But I can go up in front of 10,000 people and roll and not even think twice about it. But if I'm sitting by myself, looking at myself in the mirror or looking at my phone, oh, it's rough.
Did you see that Michael West, the last video he did? He was doing a motivational video probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He had like 17,000 views. That's awesome. But we filmed it here.
The one where he was talking about being hyper focused.
Yeah, we filmed it here.
Yeah.
We're standing right here.
Yeah.
And we were like going back when I was that's the lab mics. I could John actually turned me on for that $34.
Wow.
They're $34 and they work with a Samsung and they work with
it's called lab mic.
No, I'll text it to you. It's a different, but they last 7 hours. They got a charging case, but it's universal, but it's 7 hours. They got noise cancellation. Okay. And I just do now I do mostly CapCut.
Yeah.
CapCut's got all the auto caption. Do y'all do videos?
Yeah, I just started doing that. Yeah. I've learned so much. My kids show me stuff. I'm like, this is incredible. Like, this is so easy. Like, it's so much easier now trying to do so. I use Canva a lot too. Do a lot of stuff.
No, I don't like you. Okay, I'm old school Photoshop.
Are you really?
Emily's massive Canva. She teaches Pearl River Community College from home. She teaches Excel, medical coding, I believe.
Yeah.
But she has Canva.
Yeah.
It's all about Canva. Yeah. And it's like, let me show you Canva, babe.
Canva, Procreate, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'm like one of the old school, like, let me show you how to just I'll just do it my way. And we both have fun with it. And
I'm just glad you made Trevor's head bigger than mine on the Angels in the Outfield. Like, it just looked.
Well, I did, dude. I made it. Mm-hmm. Well, it was over.
I was trying to scroll through and didn't have a lot of pictures of myself. I don't take a lot of selfies or a lot of pictures.
Well, if you got your own baseball league, you better get ready. Get your gold jacket. You better get a face tattoo. You better do some things.
Teardrop too.
Well, you got to get there. Like, I mean, if you do this kind of, I know everybody likes the whole, like being behind the scenes, but if you're going to grow, you got to be a puppet. Like, you have to be. Like, that's me and John are puppets. Yeah. Like, that's what we are. I mean,
I told Trevor that's the biggest. So go back to like baseball tournaments. You'll hear that a lot. Is that you don't see the directors, you don't see the guys that run a tournament. It's like I'm like a walking billboard. I'm 6'2", 295 pounds. Like I'm going to walk. I wear our logo. I go and I'm shaking hands. I'm seeing people. I'm going to talk. Like they want to see the guys that are running the tournaments. They want to know what's going on. I go and I'm standing behind umpires. I'm making sure the umpires are making good calls and having the conversations. I'm listening to people. I'm asking, what are some things that we could do better? Like I want to know what's going to make them come back. These kids get these, $13 rings that, championship rings are bigger than my bowl game rings that I got when I was in college, and they're getting them every week and stuff, different tournaments. Like I told Trevor, I want to do some things that are different. We do MVP. We do an MVP where if you're
These beers are going down like water.
if you get MVP, then we put you in a draft for a brand new bat or a brand new glove, some different things, like whatever glove you want, whatever bat you want. We probably put just last year almost $8,000 just into gloves and bats for kids, and this is something that there's a lot of kids that, they're playing on these travel organizations and programs that their parents are putting all their money into getting them to play and travel and stuff. And they might be using a bat from 2 years ago or a glove from 2 years ago. And this could be their opportunity to get whatever they want, and that's why I tell the kids,
fully custom,
yeah,
like
whatever you want.
From their name and number and stitching.
You need to do like a Chuck E. Cheese and just like a reward system where they win tournaments and you can just go to the website and click with their points.
So we thought about reaching out to what's the
Margaritaville.
Yeah.
And doing something
with them for MVPs. And
I know Kono. Kono's one of the CFO.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kono's awesome. Kono Carrere.
He
runs he does Margaritaville and White House Hotel.
Okay.
He does stuff with me and he does stuff with me and John. He's a good person, but that's the person you need to talk to. But
district attorney at one point?
His dad was.
Okay.
But you need to you need to become a puppet. I'm telling you, because I've got sponsorship money just because people come up to me and go, here's a check.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like for me, I deal with the public so much typically in where I am in what JC, like he'll tell you, like our dynamic a lot of times is he's pulling me to get out more, like, because I can get on the computer and run the computer side of the event and, deal with coaches and you
got scores and
you got to enter a lot of stuff. Like there's a lot of moving pieces into, what we do. And the hard part for me is because I get comfortable being that hermit and running the computer side. And it's just like he's saying, they see him and, but ultimately a lot of them's like, dang, we didn't see Trevor at all, and it's not that I don't intend to, it's just I get comfortable. And that's where JC for me pulls me out to say, hey, we've got to.
Well, I think for your situation that I did that to John when we first started Carter's Champions, I was the one that was like, I wouldn't tell people I was co-founder. So John would always get hit on news radio and everything. And he's like, dude, can you just tell people that you're the founder? I'm like, dude, I like sitting in the back. He's like, dude, I need help, because it is putting on, like, whether we're sitting on the news. I mean, there's times where we did XXV a couple years ago where John's like, you take the lead on this. And that's how me and him negotiate it's stuff like, you take the lead, please. And because, me and John, we both battle with depression. It's something we're very open about. I think everybody battles with depression, but it's when we know we have each other, and it kind of takes like you jumping out will help JC in days that he's having like a stressful day at work, like that, or you having a stressful day at work, but it'll help him where he's like, I don't really want to talk to a person today. I'll stand next to you, but can you lead this? And that's what me and John do for each other. Because if there's days that are really tough on us, it's you take this over.
Yeah.
And I seen when I started being okay, I am like the wizard behind the scenes kind of thing. I felt like it only grew us so big because he was more comfortable, I was more comfortable, and because it would be a situation where like, no, you get John on the on TV, you get John, and then I would like walk off. But also too is the growth from Carter's Champions at like $20,000 a year to about $80,000-$90,000 came from me helping, like helping with image. because I represent, like, when I do stuff, whether it's, having Ivan on and we're talking about Gulfport or anything I do with this podcast, John's a part of it. That's another thing too, is you got to, if I like have this show and it goes like this, like I have to call John and be like, you okay? Yeah, but I'm proud of you. Yeah. Like, yeah, dude, you're fine. It's us. So you got to be accountability partners. But if you came out of the shadows, like, y'all would double in size.
And it's a hard thing, but and that's where for me, like, I've worked on it, and not just, one of the things I'm very appreciative of, are not just friendship, partnership, all that, but and truth be told, like, one of the things him and I always talked about, there's a local guy in town that we both, have known for many years, that, when his kid, was in high school and all that, kid played ball, and he has that freedom and luxury to go, hey, support his kid, or if he wants to go do this or that. And for me, I come from a family of we all chose more the servant route. My dad he started out as a firefighter. He's been the emergency management director for Hancock County for 20 plus years. My uncle's a sheriff over there. Like, I got away from politics to.
Did you say cops?
Yeah. Look, and the whole premise for me was, to get away and everything. And, with this friend, like we've talked about being able to for me, take that risk of, kind of like you, because I mean, the stress level at times it's unbelievable.
Well, see, that is, he's going to attack you.
Freaking crazy.
It's good. He's going to attack you one day. Well, I mean, because I tell people all the time, they're like, whether me and John are doing Carter's Champions or not, we're always together. I don't really like country music like he does. I like 90s. I like EDM shows. Yeah. John likes country music, but we're always together. I mean, like my birthday the other day, he was singing to me right here. Like, I mean, from start to finish, but I could just see that where we went with y'all trying to do the same thing we were doing.
Yeah.
But you can't stay behind the scenes. Because it's like, now it'd be different if y'all didn't have kids. If he was just a single guy and just didn't have kids, he can pull it off. But when you're having family time, and because there are events that's going to come where he's like, man, I can't make it. You're going to have to go get on radio. And he's like, I can't do it today.
Yeah, we already have that, because like there's tournaments where, like, hey, look, my son's got a tournament on Sunday. I'm going to be gone. He plays at XY time, and I'm going to be gone for 2 hours, and I'll be back to do this. And don't get me wrong, like, I've drug him out of there. He's done a great job of coming out of the hermit, shell of wanting to go out there, because the thing about it is people just want to know that they're not just paying in the money and putting all this in there, and these guys are just sitting here counting their dollars upstairs in the tower. And
you're always going to have haters too. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
I have so many haters.
If you don't have haters, you're not doing anything.
You're not doing anything right. And look, our big when we approach this, because we can tell you, like, we were that group that, 10, 12 teams fighting to get people to play with us, get the opportunity. But it was built on, we always said, hey, if we're going to build this, in our world, what people do is it's called basically ghost teams. They'll, say
they'll lie.
They'll lie and they'll fake teams and say, oh, Johnny's coming to play with us. Well, a coach is calling and saying, hey, you're showing that they're coming to play with you. Well, luckily for us, we built that relationship that everybody knows the teams that are in our tournaments, they're coming because we can back it up with text and not everything, So it took us longer because, look, let me tell you, Jordan, when you have the numbers that these guys were doing years ago, but I always said, we talked about stay consistent.
Trevor was my first consulting client. So he came to my office, we sat down. I didn't even know I was going to do this, but he was really the jump for me, because he sat down, he was telling me everything. Well, I had been going to all these travel tournaments, and my son's a pretty good athlete. He's on a major team. And so I've been going to all these big tournaments. I'm seeing how they run. And I'm asking him, like, why aren't you doing this? 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 And he goes, why don't you come do this with me? And I said, I don't have time for all that. I don't have nothing. Like, I don't have time. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, you give me some of the stuff that you're telling me, and you help me with some of this marketing aspect. And so we were doing probably 20, 25 teams a tournament. Like we average 70 teams a tournament now. And it's just from just taking small little things, staying consistent, literally working our tails off. Like before we had the turf available in Picayune, we would have tournaments and rain would come the day before, and Trevor and we have coaches that would literally come and volunteer to help us. We'd be out there 5 o'clock in the morning, throwing dirt, field dry, working the fields, where other tournament directors, they just called it and said, hey, we're not going to have it. And we'd have teams calling us from Pascagoula, from Gaucher, saying, hey, can we come play in y'all's tournament because y'all are the only ones that are going to make. And I told Trevor, I was like, little things like that will set us apart. People are going to want to come play with us because they know that we'll figure it out some way, somehow, no matter, unless the hurricane is on top of us, we're going to play.
Are y'all coming to the Pink Dress Run? It's 19th.
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all need to set up a booth.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I would. I mean, if I put a tent up, set up a booth.
I need to get connected for my daughter too.
That's. I mean, if y'all want to do, you could do a table. We'll just have that all set up. I know these girls are looking at their watches right now. You got to go to like Red Lobster or something.
Yeah.
What time is it right now?
8:11.
Or shopping.
Yeah.
Look, we can't. They'll spend money. So
More talk.
How much is it to get? How much is it to get in the gate?
It's going to be $15 or $20 a day, and then $15 per day for the weekend pass. It'll be $30 for a weekend pass or $20.
And that's what y'all are doing to us.
Yes.
So we're gonna have a lot of people there. We're gonna raise. What do you think we'll raise you? If you had to guess.
I don't know. It's just going
Ballpark.
to depend. I'd say probably at least $5 to $10 grand just on one day come through.
Yeah, and it goes right to the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, we got to. It's all about networking. So you need to network at the Pink Dress Run.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You know that it's all about collaboration.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, I just look at that situation. We just, as long as we get money
Do
to
you
the
run?
hospital, huh?
Do you run?
Dude, I got cerebral palsy, bro. I'm limping. I walked that thing with a cooler.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Is it a 5K or what?
John's sister Christina wanted us to do a 5K. It is a 5K, but in reality, it's like, I don't know. It's like a tailgate. Like people bring ice chests with them, radio flyers, and they bring ice chests and they walk. Listen, you bring a speaker, jam out music. I'll walk it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's so funny too, and it makes me feel so good. But like I remember when I started walking about 3 years ago, and people were like, "You actually do this?" That's when I was like, "What?" They're like, "Ain't this your event?" I'm like, "Yeah." You got a beer? And they're like, "Yeah." You want a jello shot? Yeah. I think for us, it's one of the situations when you get there, there's a lot of crying, there's a lot of like emotion, and people. Yeah, I mean that's what it's all about. I mean, I tell people all the time, like number one, don't talk about politics if you don't vote. And if you live in this community, get out in your community.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't.
We need more people involved in community. 100%.
Well, have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is what real
It's
life
the
is.
real world. Yeah, that's real world right now.
I think we just got to. This will be our first year to kind of gauge how this is going to operate. And then we just go from there. But I think y'all coming out, and then I need to get that logo so I can put y'all's logo on the shirts. So like I need to have them by like tonight or tomorrow morning.
Excellent.
So give me that logo so I put it on the back of the shirts for the run. And I think we'll have a good partnership, and we'll do the same thing. We'll do the same thing together and see how it works out.
Now we got a special guest coming in for this too, which is going to be pretty cool.
Like a wrestler?
No,
we would love to have him. Actually,
we need to get him connected.
Get him on with y'all.
So he's a big TikTok, Facebook guy.
What's his name? Do I know?
It's Mark Paul. He goes with MP3 is his brand.
So
but he is the travel ball dad, and his entire content is satire over like travel ball parents and coaches. He's awesome, but he's flying in. We're gonna have him, and he literally is a big reason why.
When's he coming in?
He'll be in on that Friday. We're flying him in on that Friday. So it'll be October 11th flying in, and then he'll be here all the way through the weekend.
Do you want to do it Friday night?
I'm down for it.
I mean, we can all fit in. We're just gonna share the mics.
Yeah.
And he's
Bring a bourbon.
Yeah,
he's down to earth.
Yeah.
Well, so he's from Louisville.
Okay, well
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Yeah.
No, I always I always tell people all the time is this. I have so much fun when people when we share drinks on the show because people get loose.
Yeah.
It really does change because you're about an hour show. People get nervous on here.
Yeah.
I've had people where their hands are shaking, and I'm like, but I'm so used to it because I've already had the haters. You're like, I've had people call me clown. I'm very dyslexic too, but he's like everything you could think of, and I'm such a troll though. It's like I start clapping. I'm like, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Let me tell you something. I don't think about you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how you have to look at it. I tell people all the time. It's like, I knew when I started doing this, I just wanted to be myself. It took me a long time. This really made me myself more than ever. Because most people, it takes a while to become yourself, especially when you operate a live show.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I've had man, if I had $1 for every time somebody said, man, I was going to start a podcast before you. That's a famous one of mine.
Yeah.
And then, but also have the best time too. Like how people come up and be like, man, that time you were talking about your depression, like I was there too. And you helped me through the night. Or when
Such a real thing.
when you're talking about relationships, like me and my wife were having issues and we started working on our problems. And you get that. I remember we were at Toronto's and this is a newborn baby. And me and Emily are sitting at Toronto's and I was talking to Jendy's daughter, Courtney, his family and business. And the guy goes, looks like, when somebody stares at you, they're just like looking at you. And I'm like, hey, can I say something? I'm like, yeah, it's like, you're just like your show. I was like, he's like, I thought you'd be different outside your show. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
No, I just turned this thing on, I hit start, and then, and then this is what I do. After I hit that, I'll end the stream. Then I'll go get Aldi's queso dip. It's got to be spicy to mild.
Yeah. And
I'll eat about, I don't know, a quarter of the queso dip. And I usually put on a little YouTube. I like munchies. I like cooking shows.
Yeah.
I have like the Magic Chef. I love cooking shows. I love food.
I got a buddy of mine. He's a rec director in Pasquishan, and he's probably the biggest foodie you'll ever meet. And it's funny because I got off the phone with him earlier. He said, hey, don't forget to give me a shout out. And I really was not going to give him a shout out.
Give him a shout out.
You started talking about, but yeah, my buddy Brett Vance. And we talk about that all the time. Like we send videos to each other, places to go eat, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, you obviously don't get to 350 with no help.
Him and Kirk Kimball probably put down the most food I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
It's
What about Brandon Bailey not showing up to my birthday?
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
Come on,
I'm
Brandon Bailey.
disappointed in you on that one, man.
BB,
Dude, what is going on?
hey,
We've been friends since we're 3.
BB, you better than that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brandon. I don't play baseball or have a C10. All right. I'm sorry I don't have a pool with a bar that you swim up to.
Man,
I don't even have a
We
pool,
still love
Brandon.
you.
BB, man, that's disappointing.
All right, well, get in there and plug y'all stuff. So I know these girls, like I can tell right now, like one of them is like looking at that watch ready to eat. Are you going to Red Lobster or is it going to be half show? What are y'all doing? You're hungry, huh?
That thing
You're hungry?
stays-
Yep.
She stays hungry, dude.
Yeah, I can tell. I ain't mad about it. All right, well, I already have your Facebook link in there, but plug away.
Yeah, no, October 12th and 13th of this year, Showtime Sports and Grand Slam Sports, South Mississippi. We're partnering with Carter's Champions. We're going to have the best baseball tournament that you're going to see down on the Gulf Coast. Trevor and I partner together, focusing on 100% for the kids, making the best tournaments. We'll be also doing softball moving into the spring. So we'll have baseball and softball going forward. But we're going to do a tournament for this fall with Carter's Champions, and then also we're going to do another one in the spring.
And then y'all come back. Like I said, we'll do that Friday when that guy comes.
Yeah.
And then let's do some promo cuts for that weekend.
That'd be awesome because
We can do some green screen, funny, like some cheese. I love green screen stuff.
Yeah.
that would be him.
Because we're gonna do another one with him in the spring and you guys.
So I have the Kenny Powers outfit,
Oh,
but I'm like
So-
I'm kind of fatter now, so
that's Brandon Bailey. Speaking of Brandon Bailey, that's all.
So
Kenny
we
Powers.
literally play softball once a year in Vito Bazaar, and one of the guys we play with, his name's Kenny Powers.
That's his real.
It's his
well.
real-
If Brandon plays with y'all, I'm going to give you laxative if you get to him.
Look, Brandon used to be around. I don't think he played, but he was just like on the team. You know,
What does it
he
matter?
was the sponsor guy.
If Brandon's there, I'm gonna be the next announcer.
Oh, let me tell
He
you.
could swing it for a while.
No,
Then he got retired.
I think the best way to help y'all out, I think if we're doing a trade off and we're gonna be getting money at the gate. John's always just let me take the lead on stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is how I look at marketing, but it's just good for us to come up. Let's do that Friday. Let's do that Friday promo with him. Talk to him. But I need that logo for tomorrow for the shirts, and then we can start doing promos before so we can bring more people in. Like I know I go there for the water park, but I haven't been.
Yeah.
Like I love that water park.
Oh yeah.
It's so cheesy. I tried to buy a beer there, and I didn't know you can't buy beer there. I really did. That you can't sell beer there. You cannot buy beer there. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think they have
Well, I think because there's like, I'm not an angry drinker, but I can understand some parents probably are. And
having to wait in line and do all that stuff.
dude, there's nothing like the lazy oak, the lazy turn. Oh, dude, I love water parks. Have you ever thought about partnering with them? Because it's next door, ain't it?
Yeah, no, we haven't.
I'm telling you, they probably would do like some kid passes.
Yeah.
Like, especially if y'all giving stuff to, like, so Memorial's owned by like the city,
Right.
in the county.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So like we could, but I think the county owns that too.
Yeah, I think it's city, and then now it's ran by somebody else.
I think that I think the government owns everything we have.
Yeah, there ain't no joke.
Everything, even Amazon spying on us. Are we doing conspiracies?
Look, we could get flat earther real quick.
I'm
Did
serious.
they really land on the moon?
I don't know. I think Buzz is lying. I don't know yet. We got to figure that one out.
I saw a video today that I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty impressed with the. I was just like, this is how people get lost in this.
I tell you about a month ago, I went down a whole lizard people rabbit hole. Sat right there,
Man,
just went straight lizard people.
Look, there's some crazy stuff on that.
Well, I mean, that's another thing too. Is like let's focus on the kids, and that's what kind of scares me with politics. But like I said, we'll do some marketing stuff, and that's the best way to do it for y'all. Like I said, give me that logo, and then we'll start. I think we promote before the event.
Yeah, for sure.
Because what I mean, to me, I'm more of an outsider, so you need that perspective.
Yeah.
And let's make it funny. Let's do some funny promos. Get it out for we'll do it, and then get it out for Saturday morning, or Friday night.
Yeah.
We can probably cut a couple promos and put all our social media.
I'll shoot Mark a text, and maybe we'll do a Zoom and hop on and chop it up. Try to see if we can get something together.
It's fine.
Thank you. No business.
All right, thank y'all so much, and enjoyed Red Lobster.
Yeah, hell yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Love you, Mom. What was an hour?